Hello, welcome back to KatyCatGaming, the world of Pokémon, a wondrous place where adults send their 10-year-olds away without any adult supervision. Just a kiss, a farewell, and then these children then attempt to survive the countless wild animals and villains and interactions with just random weird strangers. You know the ones. As those of you who have played the games know, Pokemon only allows you to have 6 Pokemon in your team. And with there being so many Pokemon in the franchise, it's really hard to just pick 6, to be honest. However, I have done so. In an ideal world, we'd have a Pokemon game that allows us to catch all the Pokemon that have ever existed. Every single one. This is the world in which I have made my list. My dream team. Side note, as of right now, there are a total of 1,025 species according to the National Pokedex. By right now, I just mean 2025. So, we've got to pick just 6 out of over 1,000. So, to begin, I felt I needed to break it down. I feel that every team should cover at least the first 3 basics. So, your base types. That's your fire, your grass, and your water. So this is where we pick our first 3 Pokemon. Basically, I'm going to start with fire because anyone who's watched my channel knows exactly who I'm picking for my fire type. It's not a secret. If you're new here, you know, I'm a loyal girl, what can I say? There's only one fire type for me, Growlithe. This little guy has been my favourite from day one. I mean, I started off by watching the anime, and Growlithe was Officer Jenny's Pokemon, and James had a Growlithe when he was a kid as well. It was really loyal and lovely. And then in the games, I would always, as soon as I found them, I would catch them until I had a female. Just because they reminded me of my family dog at the time. So my Growlithe would always be a female, and I'd always name her Tess. But then after she died, Growlithe then became Tilly, which is another past family dog, and more currently Poppy, which is my parents' current dog. Growlithe's entry in the Pokedex is as follows. It is number 58. He's number 58, and he is a puppy Pokemon, which is that not just the cutest thing in the world? So a Pokemon with a friendly nature, however it will bark fiercely at anything invading its territory, meaning Growlithe is a loyal companion and friend to their trainer, and I just generally don't think there's a better partner Pokemon. This is how it would be. Me and my Growlithe taking on the world. Of course, this puppy can also be evolved into Arcanine, which is like when you give it a Firestone. Arcanine is like an awesome Pokemon. I'd likely just keep her as a Growlithe for as long as possible. And if we start struggling, I'd then give it a Firestone. Our second Pokemon needs to be a grass type. This was a little harder to pick, I'll be honest. There was a couple I was warring with, but ultimately I have to pick Bulbasaur. Bulbasaur was my first ever starter Pokemon, and I have adored him almost as long as Growlithe. So Bulbasaur is a grass and poison type and has 3 evolutions. He levels up to Ivysaur around level 16, and then Venusaur sort of around level 32. All 3 of his evolutions are adorable. You just go from baby Bulbasaur to slightly bigger version of Bulbasaur, and then to a massive dinosaur Taurus type thing. And I love Venusaur. I love the thought of riding around on Venusaur. That's like your steed. It's awesome. So yeah, I'd be more than happy to fully evolve him. Bulbasaur's entry literally lists him as the number 1 Pokemon. He's also a seed Pokemon thanks to his little bulb on his back. It can go for days without eating a single morsel. In the bulb and its back, it stores energy. So basically, Bulbasaur is the perfect houseplant. It follows you around, it's adorable, and it doesn't really need a whole lot of food or care. But you can just chill in the sunshine, go on walks, just chill out with it. However, as part of this one, I do have to give some honourable mentions just because there were so many contenders. The closest one was actually Turtwig. As someone who played Diamond too much, Turtwig's basically Bulbasaur, but with ground instead of poison as a secondary type. Final evolution is the best. I love Torterra so much. In Arceus, I always go and find the alpha one. I don't know, they're just so cute. But yeah, it was between those 2 mostly. But also, I want to give a shout out to Chikorita. I mean, she's literally a dinosaur without wearing a flower. Like, I love her, and not enough people love her. Grookey, Rowlet, and Sprigatito are also some starter grass types that I like, but I'm not a fan of their evolutions. I don't like it when Pokemon start off cute and then get really ugly, or get like human characteristics. It's not my sort of thing. And I also adore Applin. Applin is a grass and dragon type, I believe, and I always evolve it into Appleton because he's just a little apple pie. And he's kind of powerful, but mostly because he's just an apple pie, and I kind of love that. It's so silly. Okay, on to our third team member, which is our water type. I have a confession. I am actually not the biggest fan of water types. They're like my least favorite because fighting types take that spot. But water is down there. I'm not the biggest fan of water types. I don't know why, but this one was really hard to pick as a result of that. However, after much deliberation, I have chosen Vaporeon. Yeah, I know. It's very basic, but Vaporeon's just so cute, dude. Vaporeon was actually one of the first evolutions I ever encountered. I just kind of really love it as like a water kitty, which is what it is. Little kitty cat made of water. I love it. My Vaporeons go from being named Poseidon and Neptune, Drizzle, and then if it's a girl, then I'll name it Azura or Ariel. Vaporeon's early Pokedex entry actually says it used to get mistaken as a mermaid due to its tail. And I'm thinking that might be why I love it so much, because I, as a kid, was obsessed with mermaids. Like, obsessed. I loved them. So maybe subconsciously that's what draws me to them. Plus it evolves from an Eevee, and Eevee's just so fuzzy and cute. Yeah, I wish I could explain it more. Wish I had more of a reason other than just, I like it. That's it, really. And it's the best water type. I wish I could say this was the only evolution on the list, but I think we all know there's one more. Again, I have to mention those who just missed out on that spot. One of them is Psyduck. I just think he's an absolute icon. If you watch Pokemon Concierge, he's like the main character. Love him. He was hilarious in the anime. Sorry. Piplup, again, mostly due to the absolute sass of it in the anime, and I'm a sucker for Diamond and Pearl Pokemon. Sorry. Sobble is another one I thought about. He was one of my starters in my first go at Sword, so he's just so tiny. And he's in Pokemon Snap, and he's just small. Slowpoke and Slowbro are just a vibe. And Whipper and Quagsire were actually at the top of the list. It was between the two. It was very much Vaporeon, Quagsire. So they were so close to making it. But I thought, if it really was between them, which one would I take? And, well, you can see who I picked. So now that we're halfway through, and I've chosen my 3 base type Pokemon, I'd like to take this moment to get you guys to join in. Down in the comments below, please let me know who your favourite Pokemon is, and if you've thought about it, do you already have your dream team? I will, like and comment what I think of your teams. I'll rate them. I just kind of want to see if we have any similar choices, or if there's any that I just didn't even think of that you guys love. So the final 3 are actually kind of a free for all. I feel it's best to cover as many bases as possible, and preferably without having a duplicate type. So this next Pokemon is a must-have on my team. I will genuinely go out of my way to ensure I get a female of this Pokemon because I love it so much. So our 4th team member is Espeon. So yeah, the Psychic Evolution. This is the last evolution on the list, I promise. As tempting as it is to have a full just evolution list. She just always strikes me as female. Maybe it's because of the colour of her, or the eyes or something, maybe. I'm not sure. But I will find and catch as many Eevees as it takes to get myself a female so that I can have my Espeon. She just reminds me of Molly. She's a Mollycat, I think. She's just one of the few Pokemon that looks like a cat, but is also actually strong. Like, I find a lot of the kitty cat Pokemon are not that good. Like, Glameow is kind of meh. She's beautiful, but she's meh. But yeah, I just adore her. She's a badass, she's beautiful, and I think part of me kind of just loves her because so many people love Umbreon. Which I do like Umbreon, but I'm not as keen. Espeon has always had my heart. I kind of hate her shiny though. The shiny is so ugly for this one. Just saying. Espeon's Pokedex refers to her as the Sun Pokemon, going on to say that her fur has the look and feel of velvet. So it's literally just a powerful kitty cat. Apparently, they can also predict the weather thanks to their little psychic, whatever that is. So, very handy if you're going to live in Britain because it means you might never get caught in a downpour ever again. And maybe then our weather would be actually, our weather forecast would be accurate. That sounded saltier than I meant. Our fifth little friend is a birdie whose first appearance back in Diamond just totally blew me away. I am, of course, talking about Starly slash Staravia slash Staraptor. Basically, Starly was the first ever Pokemon I actually caught in a Pokemon game. Again, it's a diamond Pokemon and I just love him. This tiny little bird goes like from a small baby bird to an actual a big ass bird of prey, which is amazing. Just stays consistently feathery and birdy and yeah. Woo! I love it. Starly tends to be female when I keep them, meaning they often get named Stella, but sometimes I end up with a Stan. Yeah, they're described as weak when they're small, but honestly, Starly, Staravia, and Staraptor have never let me down in any of their games. They'll always be a staple on my team, and it's actually the reason why flying is one of my favourite types. Aerial Ace is a must-have move. Tiny little baby burb. So yeah, so far we have our 5. I don't think I've got any duplicates yet, but we have our final slot. So the final Pokemon was actually so hard. I was between 2 Pokemon that I just couldn't really get out of my head. And even then it took me a while to think of them. So before I reveal my final pick, I just want to give some honourable mentions to the top contenders. Honourable mentions go to Skitty, one of the first kitty cat Pokemon I ever learned of. Such an underrated cat Pokemon, and Delcatty, which is his evolution, is just so beautiful. Persian, again, sleek, majestic, and absolute icon. It's just beautiful. Ditto. Ditto has helped me get so many shinies and eggs and stuff. It's just a silly little dude, silly little blob. And it's really cute with its little smile, but it's also low-key kind of creepy if you think too hard about it. Deerling and Sawsbuck. I love how this Pokemon changes with the season. Like, oh, they're beautiful. We need more Pokemon that like change on seasons or times of day or whatever, because that's such a cool thing. And the final one is Tauros. This was the Pokemon that nearly got the 6th slot. It's between Tauros and my actual pick. Tauros is a big strong cow, slash bull, whatever. And yet I always named mine Moo Moo. Yes, it must have been so mortified every time I threw it into battle. Go, Moo Moo! And it was like, oh, mate. You couldn't name me something cooler. Nobody's afraid of me. The 6th slot does not go to Moo Moo the Tauros. Instead, it goes to Wooloo. Yeah. I kind of love the Galar region. It is supposed to be Pokemon Britain after all. And there's nothing more British than a silly little sheep. Sheep herding is an actual competition event here. School trips drag you to witness sheep shearing, and you learn about births of, the lambing and stuff. You just see these fluff balls everywhere in Scotland and Wales and in the English countryside too. The moment I saw this dummy, I wanted 100 of them. I wanted a whole flock. Whole flock of Wooloos and Dubwools actually, because they're both very, very cute. The Pokedex entry only makes me love them more. It literally says they have such thick wool that these idiots could roll off a cliff and still just get up unharmed. You have to think, like, how did they discover this? I think we all know the answer to that. And Wooloo was stupid enough to actually do it. Wooloo is shown multiple times to roll around a bit like a Spheal, so Spheal rolls as well instead of just woos. And so Wooloo does the same thing. It rolls around instead of walking like a normal creature. It's shown to be stubborn and really dumb, like the one that broke into the woodland by tackling the gate over and over, even though people kept saying stop. And the shiny for this one is just a black sheep. Are you actually serious? Like, Pokemon cooked with that one. It's such a good shiny. So, so good. My team covers a decent amount of types. We have Growlithe that covers fire, and if you have the Hisuian Growlithe, it covers fire and rock. We have Espeon covering psychic. Venusaur has grass and poison. Vaporeon is a water type with access to ice type moves. Starly, all the way up to Staraptor, has us covered with flying and normal type moves. And Willow finishes off as a normal type, but it's just there for the vibes and 0 brain cells. My ideal team is all about cuteness over stats. Always has been. So who's on your ideal team? Let me know in the comments below, like I say. Or at least let me know who your favourite Pokemon is. Feel free to subscribe if you enjoyed. Come join our cozy cat tree. Ring the bell to be notified on future uploads. And give the like button a wee tap. I also have another Pokemon video. Just a little ramble of why I love Pokemon Legends Arceus so much. So I will link that in the end screen for you guys to watch. But thanks for watching. Take care. Bye!